Hey, time for some publication skills. I am going to do a quick walkthrough of Anchor. We're doing some podcasting practice. So if you haven't used Anchor before or you need a refresher, here it is. So you're just going to go to anchor.fm. Anchor.fm. Whether you know it or not, you have an account already. You don't have to click get started. You can click sign in, and you're going to log in with your Google, with your school Gmail account. Right, so I'm logging in with mine. It might ask you a couple of questions, but it's going to bring you to Anchor. Welcome to Anchor. Now, what they're going to ask you to do is they're going to ask you to set up your podcast. Choose a name for your podcast. You're going to name it. This is a great, if you want to, Anchor is a great tool for you to kind of set up and publish your own podcast if you want. We're not going to do that. We're not going to set up the podcast because what setting up your podcast does is it pushes it out to Spotify and to Apple iTunes, podcasts and whatnot. But we're not going to do that yet, but we're going to use Anchor just to create an episode, to create an audio recording. And so then we can download it and do whatever we want. Down the road, if you want to create your own podcast, you can create it, set it up, give it a name, distribute it, set it up for monetization. But we're just going to leave this stage here where it is, and we're not going to go. We're just going to go to new episode. Right, and create a new episode. And this is basically where you can use Anchor, where you start off. This is kind of like the screen, right? You can record. There's a library of previous recordings you've done. This tab here says add songs from Spotify to your episode, but this is just a ruse to get money out of you because you have to pay copyright licenses if you want to use music from Spotify. Even if you have a premium Spotify account, you still have to pay royalties. And so if you click on this and try to use a Beyonce song in your podcast, they're going to charge you an Anchor premium because they have to pay those royalties to Beyonce, right? Fair. So don't do that. Don't use music there. Instead, use the free music and sound effects down here. They have some royalty-free music here, handy transitions, and you can use all of these. You can also upload files, so maybe create your own music. Royalty free, right? Create your own music, put it in here, and you can click here to add or drag. So like if we listen to this, I could use this as just a little intro, and now it adds it to my timeline, right? Right? There's a nice little intro music if I want, right? Or I can remove it and pick something else. They have little sound effects if you want, but that's kind of the basic idea. Apparently you can have listener voice messages on your app. But that's something to play with. But really what we're going to do is we're going to add record, go to the record. And what this does is this just uses the mic, the default mic in whatever your keyboard is, or whatever your computer is that you're using. They also have this free app. Anchor is a free app on your phone too. You can download it and do this from there as well. So I'm just going to hit start recording, and I'm going to use the practice script just to record a little practice script. You're listening to 1 Minute Rants. Reporting for WLHSnow.com, this is Glenn Craik. How's that for a radio voice there, right? There's my little radio voice. I read my little script. It's processing it right there. See, these are other practice recordings that I've done on my account, but it'll save them up here. There it is, just a little 8-second, right? And I can add this to my episode. So you'll notice I've got a little intro music, then I've got that little lead in there. You could create an episode this way, right? This is how we might make an episode of 1 Minute Rants, right? And so we'll do that. But for this case, for the case of this practice, check this out. If I click on this right here, I can download this audio file. And then I've got this audio file. I can also, if I right click, I believe I can. Or no, if I just hit download audio file. Yeah. You're listening to 1 Minute Rants. Reporting for WLHSnow.com, this is Glenn Craik. There it is. It opens it up in a new tab. And if you look here, it's a URL address. It's just a web address to that recording, M4A. I can copy that. I'm going to just copy that link. I'm going to go into Google Classroom and paste that link, attach that. That's my assignment. So there it is. There's my little practice script. That's what I want you to do. Practice reading that little intro and exporting that. That's it. That's how to use Anchor. If you're doing it for a class, you want to do something for your French teacher, you need to record an assignment or you need to do some sort of audio. This is a great way to do it. It'll just leave it here privately in your Anchor account, and you can just share that with her. It'll be there with your teacher, and it'll be there. It's a great way to do it for other classes. If you're recording an episode for something, for a publication, you can do it this way. You don't have to publish the whole thing through Anchor. You could just do this. You could also assemble it, right? You could record multiple things, export it, and then save the episode. I don't want to monetize it right now, but I could save this episode. It'll put it together. You give it a little title, a description. If you publish it right now, it'll just give you a link to it, right? And you could share that publication. So that's the basics of Anchor. Enjoy it, try it out, practice with it. See you later.